can't think of any like
I
clever
mean,
way.
you'd be the one to know this, not me. I wasn't casting.
No, I don't know. I've never played Test Burst, but I don't have like a clever thing like Mamachu that just immediately throw out there. Like, but she was always a force in chat, no doubt about that. But we're getting into it. Second gen versus Skyfoxes here on Lijiang. And second gen opting for Shadows on the Sombra, as they often do.
I think they're pretty dead set with this roster right now. Shadows just is a very strong player. He brings a lot to second gen, where they're not necessarily super comfortable running P3.
Heavy pressure coming in early, but Clowman down! Bipop able to get the finishing blow there off the early isolation and hack. And Shadows really set that up.
Yeah, that hack coming in from Shadows along with that damage just allowing the cleanup for Clowman, who was a bit aggressive there. Wasn't able to put his shield, was just a little bit cleaned up. And now Skyfoxes are going to be able to move back in and contest the point. They do lose the flip, the first fight, but they have plenty of time to get back in, and it won't be a huge deal.
So second gen right now, first control, Skyfoxes looking for a way back in. Pretty even on ult charge across the board. Buds and Bipop, or Bip-Bob.
Bip-Bob.
Not too much of a difference there. Clowman though, going in early. Shield gonna save him. Backs on out. Good poke back and forth here. Neither team with a huge advantage here so far. In fact, if anything, it's Skyfoxes getting on the lower end. But here comes heavy pressure onto Chrono. But a good Zarya bubble, good beat, gonna be saving him here, and they're able to turn it back the other way.
I mean, second generation, that frag from Eclipse, catching Lastro, who had that Transcendence advantage, was so huge. But the problem is, second generation overcommitted ults in that fight. Felt he beated. I can see that. You want to clean up the fight, but then Shadows also EMPs when Lastro's already gone. And you already have that Zenyatta pick. So now they've lost two big ults, especially the EMP, which is their fight winner.
Well, you know what? That's also a fight winner right there. The hammer being dropped by Chrono Dota just absolutely destroys the Skyfoxes.
Great boot from Felty. He was sitting in the corner. Skyfoxes didn't scout him. And then he just puts Clowman up into the air, sets up the Shatter. It also catches the support, so Skyfoxes didn't want to commit the support ults there. And on top of that, a triple better effect. The Shadows is out 50% to another EMP from farming that Shatter. So they managed to bring it back.
Well, it's a twofer there, where not only do they win the fight, but as you say, it buys Shadows more time. The problem is that they're still going to have to win a fight without EMP. Graviton can be answered here by Transcendence. Second gen still in the fight. Graviton out on their own, the other side. Again, answered by Transcendence. So neither team with a huge advantage here. Yes, Chrono going to get caught.
And the Shatter goes out for Clowman.
They should save EMP.
On the ground.
Save
it should be it now. They will save EMP. They will save EMP. They didn't have that Diva Bomb for the grab, so it was a little close for Skyfoxes. And part of the reason why FaZe is still just now getting to his first Diva Bomb is because Shadows has been absolutely bullying him, hacking him, poking him, making sure he can't do damage. So Shadow's doing a great job of keeping FaZe in check, and also was able to deny that combo, but Skyfoxes will flip the point now.
This is a really good spot for second generation to be in now. One fight away from taking the round, potentially keeping their hopes and dreams alive. Shadows holding on to the EMP. We'll see how he's going to set up. Skyfoxes right now holding back, trying to stay split, not give up a great EMP opportunity, but you know the EMPs are coming. And Shadows really taking a long time to set this up.
Well, that was that great poke from Buds, making it force. There's the EMP. Mac isn't caught.
That was
the beat is out.
That was not a very good EMP at all. It was super heavily forced. Skyfoxes able to rotate back over and punish. And second gen, you have so much time. Why are you forcing the EMP like that?
Yeah, they definitely said that we're a little rushed there in the EMP setup. They got 5, but I mean, Mac wasn't caught. The beat was able to come out, keep everyone alive. Then Buds could grab afterwards, get the cleanup. Second generation can still feel okay due to this time bank advantage they have. They can move forward, try to get the trance out of Lastro, and just build another EMP. That's really going to be their goal, is try to get ults out of Skyfoxes.
Second gen, though, definitely a tougher spot than they were a month ago. Rally going to be used here early from second gen. They roll over. Skyfox is going to be back out. But no, now they decide to go in. Transcendence going to be invested here long before the Graviton, by the way. So Bip going to be able to drop the Graviton later on to the fight. Not going to be as good of a response to the Skyfoxes. And Clowman getting very low as a result. Though dropping the Shatter, gets 3 on the ground immediately off the Shatter. And that gives the Skyfoxes a much better bargaining position here, as they have only one fight to go.
And that's crazy considering how good of a grab Bip-Bob had. It was post Lastro Trance, but Clowman's just able to survive and just to hit a great Shatter. And now Lastro 80% to another Transcendence. Shadows will have the EMP very soon, but Buds can grab, keep them off point. There's no Diva to eat.
Very soon might not be soon enough. That's the real problem here. 90%. Meanwhile, the fight's going down the other direction. Buds with the grab sets up Clowman for 3 on the other side. And you flip the point. Guess what? Here comes the Reckoning. Right back over. Shadow's going to be falling down. And that is going to be Skyfoxes retaking the point, and now very likely the round.
Yeah, that should be the round. A great back cap for Shadows, but you know, Skyfoxes recognize we can afford to lose, to have the back cap. It's not a C9 because they know that's happening, and they're fine to give it because they'll win the fight, wipe 5 members for second generation, then just come back and counter flip.
Yeah, and I mean, it's knowing your win conditions there too, where I think some teams might have freaked out in regards to that. One of the ways that Sombra setups can work very well is a simple split attention that it can cause a team, especially in regards to back caps, but Skyfox is cool as cucumbers there.
Yeah, I mean, it was risky for sure. If they had made it, if they had, you know, let it last too much longer, they could have actually just lost the round. But they had it very cool, calm, collected. They said, got the wipe forward, came back to the point just in time, stopped it. So risky move, but it paid off. They played that very well, and now that's going to be the first round going the way of Skyfox.
So Skyfoxes, they bring it on backcourt. By the way, that's an ill omen for second gen. They had everything going for them in the beginning, so we'll see. Oh, okay, well, you know what? They might have it going for them in the beginning here again. Shadows gets Max super early with the Widow pickoff. Curious if he's going to stay on it here, though. I mean, I think he'll stay. Are you asking him to stay on Widow or stay on Pharah? For Shadows, if he'll stay on the Widow here for now, I think he'll stay up until FaZe swaps.
Yeah, as soon as FaZe swaps, I think, because when FaZe swaps, the entirety of Skyfox's comp will probably change. I think Shadows stays on this Widow for that long.
Again!
Back again! Shadows! He's just taking out people left and right.
You know, you want to disincentivize the team from running Pharah Mercy. Do what Shadows is doing right now. Continue to plunk the Mercy or the Pharah in the head, preferably both.
Just hit your shots, forehead. As Shadows, he's popping off. And we've seen Shadows do this so often. We saw it just absolutely just contribute so much on hit scan, on Widow, on Sombra. He's so deadly. I mean, right now, he is fighting for the title of #1 head clicker NA. Now, one move the Skyfoxes would have, which would be a blast from the past also, if they... Okay, they're just probably going to swap 3-3. Yeah.
They can also swap Buds to Widow. He's won a few Widow duels in his time. In his time,
he has run a few Widow duels. And actually, Skyfoxes are not going 3-3. They're going to stay on dive. They're going to have Bud since he has that pulse bomb. Force it to stay on the Sombra. And they're really just trying to abuse the fact that they're more mobile, can get on the back line for second gen.
You know, I actually would have liked to have seen Buds go Widow here just because it's pressure on the Sox, it's pressure on the Shadows at the same time. And Buds is certainly good enough to make that happen. Instead, as you say, they go to the dive. They don't go 3-3. And heavy pressure in the dive comes in. You've Nano Clone Man. He's able to get Felty in. It's making it work decent enough here.
It is, but with Chrono down and Felt, it Sox also now gone as well. That's the fight over. Shadow's going to be pressured out. So good engage for Skyfoxes. I mean, Widow's nice, but you don't have to counter Widow if you're playing this comp. If you're playing, especially with the buffs to Sombra, I think that Sombra's fine to stay on. I think she's really, really good. And it allows you to pressure that backline even more heavily, pressure the point more heavily. And now you have another fight winner. You have another fight winner. Oh, it's that EMP.
And this is certainly going to be one of the more chaotic fights that we've seen here. It's anything but a 3-3 versus 3-3. It's dive versus Widow setup. Recon site can be up here early. So if you're Horthic right now, fun's over for a little bit. Everyone can see you for the next, I would say, 8 seconds or so.
Yeah, but while the infra site is out, you need to make sure that you don't give a lot of free silence.
As
he gets Lastro, and no,
Wait,
he ults. He's back.
Yeah, he had the ult early to save his life there. Still might be worth it in the end, but man, that was close. Horthic can get Shadows, and okay, the decision from Clone-Man, the ult there, pretty worth it.
Yeah, I think that was a good ult. And now the EMP is still alive. Lasher's going to be back in the fight. The beat is out for Felty, but remember, there's still an EMP.
Beat moving in, the EMP gonna strip the tunes. Can't hear the tunes if all your hardware is broken. EMP gonna do the job as Skyfoxes continue to hold on here. Excellent EMP by Horthic, even as he gave his life for it.
Yeah, it really, but Chrono, he gets 2, but the fight is pretty much done. Shadows is back, but it should just be cleanup. They're not going to be able to take the point. But Buds decides to peek the Widow on bridge and dies, so they can re-push for second gen.
Buds, of all people, should know that that is not the best idea, particularly when the other Widow is on. Shadows did have a little bit of a lull there, but now off these 2 pickoffs, making an opportunity, but he's down. Horthic able to get him, and that'll probably be the end of the Widow play there.
And with that Shadows pick, this should just be a contest fight on the point. The longer it runs, the better it is right now for Skyfoxes. The res is out, but Buds immediately hunts down Shadows.
Yeah, Buds gets his revenge and then some, going, I'm going to get you ready to head out of spawn. Skyfoxes, meanwhile, dominating on the point. Second gen under heavy pressure here, and that is going to be it for the Skyfoxes. They're going to get the round, they get the map. And they do the last round here in a less than conventional fashion. 3-3 out of style for both teams, but overall, Skyfox is just a bit more consistent, and they did adapt to the Widow pressure pretty well.
They did. I mean, because you do have that option to swap to Widow like you talked about. They could have put Buds onto the Widow, but if you're playing Koth, if you're already stuck on Sombra, you know, just stay with it. Just stay with your composition. Make the swap to dive. There's no Brigitte on the field. You can out-pressure because at the end of the day, and it's been no matter what happens, dive always beats slow.
Yeah.
It always does. It's unless you were in the double Moth or the Moth meta where you had the double sniper options, where Hanzo and the Widow combo was just so strong.
Good old days.
But you don't have that option anymore. So it is better to be playing with these new buffed heroes in this current patch and just try to be very aggressive.
Very much so. And for Skyfoxes, they get themselves out of a hole where, don't forget, in the first round, things were not going super well for them. It was looking like second generation might have been setting up on what could be a valiant last stand here as they try and keep the hope alive of getting in the playoffs. But Skyfoxes, they've been very improved this season overall.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why they've been improved is they've been more consistent. And the hallmark of a consistent team is that when you get into tough situations like you were in here, you can actually bring it back. And they did.
Yeah, I mean, they can just play around their overall team strength a little bit better because second generation is a team so far that is extremely dependent on Shadows making those hero plays. And if he's not getting those picks at all times, then the team really does not have the space. They're not, getting those fight wins.
Indeed. So now we're waiting here to get into our next map, which of course will be hybrid. It's going to be King's Row is where we're going to play next. And of course, King's Row, a map where usually you don't see anything too crazy in terms of swaps, is probably the most 3-3 centric hybrid map you can think of. Even in metas where you haven't had things be favorable to a Ryan or a Zarya, you've seen teams go Ryan and Zarya specifically on King's Row.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been the most tank favored map. It's just so enclosed. It gives that value to Ryan, gives that value to Zarya. So 3-3 is almost always the norm, unless you're a rogue, in which case you played like triple DPS or selfless, where you played the selfless comp. But 99% of the time, you are playing triple tank. You are playing that GOATS, that 3-3 here, because it's just so, just so enabled on this particular map.
Very much so. But right now, just waiting on the teams to get into the second map. That's why we're looking at their beautiful, well-styled logos here. Where, I'll give credit to them here for neither team being an academy team. These are decent logos.
True, they're nice looking. We've seen some questionable ones throughout the history of Contenders. Some ones that have looked quite amateurish, but really, Skyfoxes and second generations both look pretty clean.
Look, I put toothpaste on all my hot dogs. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, that's a classic. That's a throwback.
You take care of your dental hygiene while also getting food at the same time. Nothing could go wrong.
No, that is the mix, the perfect mixture there for both teams. As we get here into King's Row, just waiting for both teams to set up. And now, still waiting for them to get in, obviously, because we're just waiting for them to assemble. And really, there was a time where I played with a guy named Rob420. Robert Dab is what he goes by now. And he drew a bunch of designs, some amateur team designs for a bunch of Contenders teams, but they never made their way into the ecosystem, and I'm very upset about that. And if you've noticed that it's just me talking, Chad, if you've noticed that, it's because ZP, he's gone off to do ZP things, and now he's back.
Okay. They never would have noticed. You're doing such a good job of filling.
No.
They had no idea.
I had to make sure the viewers know because they miss your sweet dulcet tones after a short amount of time.
No one needed this level of transparency in broadcasting. No one.
They did.
No one needed to know that I was running over there to the kitchen to blow my nose. That was not required.
The viewers needed to know that. Because I could see it already. Where is ZP? Where is he?
You were telling a great story about the one and only Rob Dab, formerly Rob420, one of the greatest supports of our time, with had traditions made about him. And, it was a fantastic story. And, I was more than willing to listen as I sat there just removing gunk from my nose.
Well, that is good. I'm glad to know that you're enthralled, by that story. But we are still here on King's Row, waiting for the teams to assemble. It's taking a little bit of time, taking their sweet time. Maybe Clone Man's doing a victory lap with that first map win that his mom got to saw.
Maybe he's on the phone with his mom right now saying, "Mom, I did it."
Maybe his mom's criticizing his play. It's like, why are you feeding?
That's actually terrifying.
Maybe Clone Mom is just a savage.
Clone Mom?
Clone Mom.
All right.
That works, right?
Let me ask you this. Did you come up with that on your own, or did you find
yes. It's just Clone Man, but replace
you're
mom.
sure you didn't find time to go to Reddit or see Twitch in the interim?
No,
You're
definitely not. If there's one thing I will never do is take inspiration from Reddit.
Okay.
I will never allow that
What
to
about
happen.
Twitch chat? Will you take inspiration from
Yeah,
Twitch chat?
Twitch chat is geniuses, so of course I would allow that inspiration to happen.
So the line has been drawn right now. But speaking of lines being drawn, the game match is also underway. Shadow starting out here on the Widow. But I think Skyfox at this point, they very much should have expected this.
And they are doing also running Buds on that Sombra, definitely expecting that triple DPS lineup. The Sombra very good at, you know, just locking down that Hammond Boger on that Hammond. As you see this contest is happening, they're trying to deny that high ground for Shadows.
And for now, they're doing that reasonably well. Of course, we're going to go back to Shadow's point of view right now, and still looking for that one good pickup. Bubble in his way, had an opportunity to get the Ana, and gets the Zarya in turn. FaZe gonna fall down here in second gen. Now they can get to work. Shadow's gonna have a lot more room. But Astro says, you know, maybe you've had a little bit too much. A Brigida in his face. It's never a great thing as Widow. In rough spot is Shadows, but the early pickoff still doing its work here. The payload going to be underway. Second gen gets point A.
Yeah, Horthic just getting caught in that corner. And they try to get that early high ground contest against second gen, against Shadows, but they got spread out in return. They weren't able to follow up because they are playing Ryan Zarya. There's not a lot of mobility on the field for Skyfoxes if they're not all there.
A little bit of pressure coming in. Cloman running for the hills and not quite going to get away. Bip finishing him on off. Second generation. Keeping up the pressure now. Staying a very quick time here so far.
And we've seen the strategy come out for second generation consistently where they move Eclipse over to a DPS. Generally Hanzo or Junkrat. They have Boger in on that Hammond. And they're just trying to give this value to Shadows. They're trying to split up the enemy team to give Shadows this opportunity to get those picks, which is what he's been doing. It's really, really good stuff for him because once again, he has been the consistent playmaker for second generation.
Quite frankly, Skyfox is in a very tough spot here where not only are they a threat of Widow pickoffs as you are whenever Widow's being run, which is going to slow them down, but guess what? Even if they do get through here, the Junkrat tire is going to be in reserve.
Yeah, Junkrat tire also going to be a fight-winning ult here because Skyfoxes, they don't have Trance. They're running Lasher on that Ana. Mac doesn't have to beat just yet. So really, it's the battle of who gets EMP off first.
Well, the EMP is going to be out here first from Skyfox, and that could be enough. No threat of the tire when the Junkrat is gone. But second gen, they just retaliate. The pile driver into barrage, more than enough.
And Eclipse gets the res. Eclipse is able to re-res by Felty, I should say. So despite that EMP from Buds, there wasn't really any ability for Skyfoxes to follow up because the counter EMP was out for Bip-Bob and then the mine for Boger.
At what point does Bud's pride as a former Widow player in full just get wounded to the point that he counter Widows this?
I mean, you know, any time is possible. I also don't think Horthic being stuck on this Brigida. I mean, he has to now because they're so close to the rally. But it would have been, you know, there's a lot of other options. This Lasher gets picked.
Again with the pickoff. Shadows, unstoppable, gets another. And Shadows continues to tear apart the Skyfoxes, making them look like the Skyfoxes of last season for this map only.
Yeah, Shadow's just doing so much work right now. The Valkyrie was out as that engage happened, but he's hunting. He's watching Cloman. Cloman's giving the no look.
Cloman's just going, I'm just gonna look away. Don't pop my head. Meanwhile, Bud's run over by a tire in the middle of the street. Another song we haven't talked about here. The Shadows under pressure, gets such good healing on the other side, still alive.
Astro decides to counter snipe him,
yeah.
And the rally's out for Horthic. Here comes the engage. Eclipse, he's caught in main. He's going to be going down very soon. Sometimes you're the Ana and you have to take matters into your own hand, hit the ante, hit the shot. But you see Felty,
okay.
He's still back capping, but he's going to go off now.
Yeah, that's not quite going to be enough. Appreciate the hustle and trying to go for it there. And second gen, I do feel like for most teams, I would say that this would be the time to swap. I don't think second gen will, though.
I don't think they will. Shadow's been doing so much work, and they also have the Mine EMP combo. They're coming close to another Valkyrie and Barrage. They have a lot of ults. Mac, he can't get caught by this EMP. He needs to get value here.
I would say almost any other team in this situation would have swapped the Sombra goes. Like, they would have let the momentum from that die and go here. But they have faith in Shadows that he's going to get a pick off. We'll see if that's rewarded. The EMP's certainly out here early. Shadows an opportunity to get some picks. Horthic a little bit far out, needing to find his way back. Not going to do that. Ends up stepping on a mine. Watch your step.
And the EMP mine combo once again working out. Shadows gets Mac as he's trying to leave. And this is still the movement forward. You see Buds, he's flying through the air. He's been in it nano. They want to keep him alive, get that energy value.
This is crazy Widow pressure coming in. Okay, low bridge. Self-destruct on over again. Buy a little bit of time here. Looking for Cloman. Headshots on the way. Shadows onto left. Cloman right in his face. Doesn't take one to the head, just one to the body. And second gen actually getting stalled out a bit.
They are, but they do get that pickup onto Horthic. They need to make sure to live Eclipse. He's coming up on that tire very, very soon. We see this high ground contest continue to happen. The tire is out.
Tire on the way. Shadows is down, though, so that's going to limit how much they get from this, even if it is a big tire, and I think the tire has gone to the wayside.
The tire did not get much value. It was exploded. Didn't get really anything. The bubbles were out for Buds. Buds has that grab, Lastro, another nano as well. But second gen does need to leave. They're not winning this fight. They're not winning this fight, but I think they're going to continue to stay because another EMP is available, but Neat's down.
Neat is down. The Graviton's out. Everyone's going to follow here. Shadows, you are a fantastic Widow, but there's a reason why going back I said most teams would have swapped. And yeah, now it's time to swap. You go to a Sombra Goat setup. That is the right play.
Yeah, they're finally going to be making those swaps. Eclipse going back onto that Zenyatta. Second generation getting ready to push here again. They do have the EMP out, and Mac does not have beat. So there is an opening. There is an opening here for second gen to just move forward and use the EMP to win.
It's all about Bip and how he sets up the EMP.
Oh, it's all about Bip.
It's all about Bip.
It's all about Bip.
And a little bit about the Bob, I suppose.
A little bit about the Bob as well.
We're focusing more on the Bip. Oh, early Bionade. Lastro from downtown making a whole lot of people purple, and most importantly, Bip. Now, they still lose 2 on the other side, but we'll see how Skyfoxes gets out. They still have plenty of tools to delay. It's not, it looks bad, but it's not really.
The EMP was still all they needed. I mean, they were able to get those picks, move forward, but now the problem is Mac's going to have that EMP, or he's going to have the beat, Last's going to have that nano, so here comes the recontest for Skyfoxes.
Well, Clement goes in, eats a lot of damage, ends up bleeping away. It's not the most impactful use of Primal that we've ever seen in our lives here. In fact, most of that Primal kind of wasted.
And this is the problem as well for this Sombra 3-3, the Sombra Goat setup, is that when you use the EMP and you don't get a significant point presence, then you can't win the recontest.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem is, too, the only reason why... Oh, he slept in the back, Lastro.
Bye-bye.
So
Wait, FaZe! FaZe messed up so badly!
You fool! You just finish him off. You're not going to boop away. It wakes him up. It's an alarm clock. But FaZe makes up for it, drops himself to the truck, goes, all right. I need to make sure we don't lose the match off of that.
Yeah, that was a little rough. I mean, I don't know if FaZe was intentionally trying to... I think he thought he could boop him off the map. But that's not how it works, because when you boop him, he's going to wake up and translocate away FaZe. But he does bring it back.
Oh, man. FaZe right now just wiping the sweat off the brow after that one, going, that could have been real bad.
That could have been real bad here. Bitbop about 70% to the EMP, building this kind of slowly. You notice there's been another fight that's happened. This is pretty much last fight territory, as the rally is out for Neat.
Well, last fight
engages.
Last fight territory, second gen, moving him pretty aggressively off of it. FaZe is going to be holding back here. Rally in for the Skyfox as well. Final 20 seconds. Second gen. They're waiting for the Graviton and Shatter here, for sure.
They have to, and then they're coming forward right now. Felty close to the beat as well. Mac just can't get caught. Mac knows. You see him hiding in the back right.
Well, Graviton gonna go in. Bip stunned early on. The EMP still comes out, and it still results in Clement going down, so it's not quite as good as it could have been, but Bip ends up in a rough spot, ends up falling. 5 on 5. Skyfox is looking to fight their way in. Buds later on Graviton. No response in terms of supports, which means Buds and Mac more than enough room to clean up. The Nano gonna be going on the Buds as he melts people right on down. And the Skyfoxes hold here on point C.
You know, I'm not sure the EMP did go out.
No, FaZe was hacked.
FaZe was hacked?
FaZe was hacked.
Okay, I didn't see it.
No, actually, now I said he might have just been normal
Because I saw Coleman's Shatter go out. I think he committed his life with the Shatter to stop the EMP.
Yeah, I think you're actually right. I thought I gave it credit that the EMP still went out there, but I think you're right, and that was interrupted. It was just an already hack that was on.
Yeah, I think Clone Man made a hero play.
Yeah.
He'd sacrificed his life for the Shatter to get rid of the EMP, which is huge. I mean, Felty was forced to drop the beat to keep BitBob alive there, but he wasn't able to. And then the grab comes out for Buds, and there's not a trance up yet for Eclipse.
Yeah, so I got baited a little bit there then, because I saw the stun EMP. I first thought, okay, was the EMP completely denied?
But honestly, I'm not quite sure. It happened very fast. No, but that's what I think happened.
I think you might be right on that, because my initial gut feel was that the EMP got interrupted, but I think it was just he had the hack on, then went for, I think he went out of stealth, went for the hack, got the hack, went for EMP after, but while I was going for EMP, he was out enough time to get interrupted, where in reality, he probably should have just gone straight for the EMP.
Well, you know what? This is a really productive... I'm glad that we've come to consensus here. Firm handshakes. All around, ZP. Firm handshakes. This has been a good exchange of information.
This is how we're analyzing, after the fact here, where who knows, we're completely wrong, but either way, good defense from Skyfoxes there towards the very end, where I have to... post-mortem in second gen here. I think they stayed on the Widow too long.
I mean, but this is the second gen conundrum where they're entirely dependent on Shadows, really making those plays for them. And so he was feeling himself on Widow. It started to cool down a bit. The geography wasn't great. wasn't getting those picks he needed, so then they waited too long to swap, yeah. But they were really dependent on him. Now Shadow's going to be on the Sombra here again. Bitbop back on the Zarya. Second generation on the defense.
Second gen just going to be hanging back. Again, both teams trading up poke here. Skyfoxes, reasonable amounts of time at their side. Early hack going to be going on here on the phase. Second gen, though, none too crazy about diving in the follow-through for now. Just trying to build up EMP, but Shadow's a really long way away from that. Has not built up much damage. Skyfoxes, they go into a point, but in such a way that Buds gets caught. Not ideal for the Skyfoxes. Second gen can now kind of bring this back the other way.
And the hack on the Clone also denying a lot of that early presence, making the rotation happen for Skyfoxes. Shadow's 50% to the EMP. Might be able to get Lastro. Oh, great boot from Mac. Great boot from Mac, denying that cleanup.
So second gen for now, holding strong. Skyfoxes rotating around. They're going to drop off high ground. Now start applying a little more pressure on set point. It's going to be up to second gen to move on forward. Bear in mind that they do not have an EMP ready. They're running a composition that is a lot weaker at straight up fighting unless Shadows is able to find an incredible hack. Now he's able to pressure Zen to force out the early Transcendence in second gen. They can just back out. This is really good for them. Now they can grab, and this is going to be pretty easy cleanup if they can burn through, and they do.
Wow, that combination play, by the way, the coordination between second gen, between Eclipse and Shadows was so key there. You see where Lastro was holding on the high ground with the Transcendence. They discord him, get the early damage, and Shadows is right there. That's the problem of playing Zenyatta and playing away from your team, because you can get that ult force so early. You can be in a position where you lose it so early, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, so second gen putting up a formidable defense here so far, and you know, Shadow's finally going to be getting over to EMP land. Okay, that was interesting. Shadow the other side.
Zoning Shadow.
Well, I think it's because they booped Clone Man up, and Boger just went for the opportunity. It just hit Q before thinking there what it would hit. But now the EMP, it's going to hit everything. And they just roll on forward, and it might not be that big of a deal in the end, because Boger should build up a decent amount of charge off that, although not as much as
the only saving grace for Skyfoxes there is that now they're coming back into the fight with grab, with combos soon, and more importantly, the double support ults are about to be up, and there's no EMP on them. There's nothing to mitigate these support ults. Bitbop still doesn't have grab either. So Skyfoxes, this should be the fight win for them. They already have those ticks, or that tick. This should be 100% a fight win. They can just use the support ult aggressive, set up their grab.
And also think here for setting up the grab, Buds has nothing to worry about. You look at the other side, there's no Diva in play. You just need that immediately. The Graviton can come out, Skyfox is going to dive on in, self-destruct right on over. Heat already out of the fight. Eclipse going to transcend here. Felty under pressure, can't save Felty at all. And Skyfoxes, it was prophesized they are going to take point A.
Yeah, they did have to invest a lot though. They had to use 4 ults for it, but it's fine because you get the first. You know your win condition already. Shadow's not even that far ahead of the EMP game either. And they're able to hold on to the trans. So overall, good push for Sky.
Not too shabby. Second gen, though, still in a pretty winnable spot here. I mean, 3 minutes. I don't think they're going to be able to hold all of point B, but they could drain that down to about a minute left easy with just 2-1 team fights. So not too bad.
This could be a pretty good exchange for second generation if Bitbop can get the grab off, get that Transcendence out of Lastro, and then just set up for that next engage, just set up for that counter engage with Filthy Feet.
You see Skyfoxes here under pressure, particularly the shield of Clone Man. Also the health of Clone Man. Clone Man in general just taking a bit of a beating there. And as a result, it's an open for Boger. Going to drop the Shatter into the back. Moves on forward, going to force out Transcendence from Lastro, but that means Bip has a great opportunity here to grab. We'll see if the follow-through is going to come in off the grab. Not quite the way you would expect. It's gotten a little bit chaotic here. Both teams getting low. Second gen, they're investing even more. Rally going to be out. Transcendence still in reserve. Diving on into the library. It's party here. Library, no pizza involved. Boger looking for the swings there, and it's going to be the second gen taking the fight at the end.
And Shadow's able to build another EMP and hold on to it. Didn't have to use in that fight. Is going to trade with Lastro in the end, but that's perfectly fine. They'll be back. And now they're in a great position to set up the EMP Shatter. The thing is, though, they have to make a commitment. Do they go for EMP Shatter first, try to deny the combo for Skyfoxes, or do Skyfoxes, are they able to get their combo out? Are they able to get the Transcendence to survive through the EMP Shatter?
I mean, the way it's going here,
it's a race.
I personally think it's just going to be a quick EMP fight and done, which Skyfoxes might be okay with. We'll see how it works out. They do Graviton here first, and oh, okay, second gen, they're just going to take it. They got completely out-engaged here, but the upside is they should be able to get back.
They should, but the problem is there's going to be a lot, double support ult, triple support ult, really, for Skyfoxes, and the combo, not the combo, but the Shatter Bomb that's going to be up very soon. So you see Felty tried to set up that boot for Boger. They were trying to preserve the EMP if possible, but got out engaged like you talked about. Skyfoxes have so much in the bank for this next fight. If Shadows doesn't get both support ults, or doesn't get both supports, then it's realistically, I don't think they win.
Look for that Somber Hack symbol to go up on Mac and Lastro. That is exactly what Shadows is looking for here. But Skyfox, they should be split to where you can't get both at the same time, and you don't get either. The EMP only gets Cloman, so they're trying to isolate him, take him down early. But instead, Cloman's going to be totally fine. Transcendent's coming out a little bit later into the fight. Now, both ults have been used for Skyfoxes. They don't get what they want from immediately, so second gen, using both their Transcendent ults as well. Both teams still in it, both ults drained. Rally up for second gen. Bud says that's just fine. Graviton gonna be in, fall through right on after. The rally not enough to sustain on through. And second gen gonna be falling here on point B. Skyfoxes, they get a crack at point C and winning the map.
And that's the problem with right there with the EMP is they didn't get either support ult. So they were able to, Max was able to beat, and Lastro was able to trance. And as the fight breaks down, there is no fight winner for second generation. Skyfoxes could out-sustain. They had a free grab because there's no D.Va on the field. They had better shield presence because obviously they had phase on the D.Va. And now they're going to be rolling forward into last. Shadows really needs to get another EMP.
And that's exactly what Shadows is looking for here. 66%, not a bad job of building for this next fight. Actually quite quick, even with the way the last fight went. Going for that on Cloman, not quite gonna get it. Pressure is ready to dive on in on him.
Skyfoxes are hunting for him aggressively. His phase catches Boger, the Shatter's out, 2 down. Can they clean up? Shadow's down.
They're absolutely gonna clean up. This is gonna be a full wipe in favor of Skyfoxes. Only a minute 20 to go here to finish out the map. That could be plenty of time. Shadows, this 10% on EMP could be absolutely devastating in the sense that you might not get it in time for the perfect engage.
And the worst thing is that Skyfoxes don't even have to full commit in this fight. I actually think that you look to get the ult out of second gen, then come in for the next fight if possible.
Yep. Let them EMP you here, wait for the next fight. If it comes down, and oh, just kill Shadows instead! Horrific!
Well, that'll do it.
Smothers him right to the backhand side. Skyfox is now in a fantastic situation. Self-destruct.
I think they might have overcommitted ZP. I think they might have overcommitted.
It's very possible.
Shadows is coming back with EMP.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you took down Shadows early. But here we go, the pressure is on. Skyfox is moving in, the EMP out from Shadows. The fall through though, not necessarily there. Second gen, still down on members here. It's gonna be emergency happen until you get the boop. Horthick off the map.
Neat, getting that boop. They've done it. Another boot on the Cloman. They overcommitted in the fight, ZP. They get the early pick and decide to beat in, but they didn't realize Bitbox still had grab. They couldn't get any cleanup. They couldn't follow up in time for Shadows before Shadows was back. And Neat making the hero play there with the Hammond. So this is last fight now for Skyfoxes.
And now Skyfoxes, I hope Clone Mom is watching, because Clone Man is going to have to head out here and land a game-winning Shadow, set up a Shatter Bomb. It's your best opportunity for a clean fight here.
Phase is hacked, he can't get back into mech either. Shadows is just bullying him. Bipop, he has a free grab, there's 2.
He's not going to grab Clone Man. Under pressure, looking for the Shatter. Knocks down Shadows, but, well, they get the finish on that. I don't know if that's going to be enough. 5 on 6 here. Skyfoxes with an advantage. They get Boger. They're making the most out of it here. Skyfoxes, just when you think the map is over, second gen in a rough spot. Transcendent's going to keep the last few remnants alive, but Buds is roasting and toasting to the backhand side. That's going to be Skyfoxes pulling out the W.
Cloneman Shatter keeping Shadows on the ground, allowing the pickoff to happen. So against all odds, they have achieved victory. And it really sort of a hero play there from Cloneman at the end. And great stuff. I mean, Shadows, he's being impactful. I mean, we're trying to work around him as best as possible. But at the end of the day, Skyfoxes, they just have the better front line. That D.Va presence is allowing them to hunt Shadows and also, win the shield war, set up Cloneman.
Yeah, it works out in the end where, I was saying there Cloneman need a big Shatter, but in the end, just getting Shadows is enough.
It is. That is all you need, just one pick. And that's going to be 2-0 at the half for Skyfoxes now after that pickup on King's Row. So I feel like they have to be feeling pretty confident moving forward.
Very much so. I mean, on the other hand, second gen, they've come out stronger than expected. They had bursts of life back on Control. They had bursts of life here on King's Row where this was very winnable. It very well could have been 1-1 and arguably should have been with how that final fight was set up, but Skyfox is proving too good when things matter the most at the very end. And now, at the half, it's 2-0 in favor of the Skyfoxes. Will second gen be able to bring things back? We'll find out in just a few minutes.